Ladies and gentlemen, today we got some big news for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Essentially, yesterday we started to get the preload come out for PC. Today we got information on early access, what is the earliest that you can play Black Ops 6, as well as some brand new gameplay features in Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Some of which came out yesterday, and some of which, no, you're not hearing me wrong, a grappling hook came out today. We're going to go over all of that in this video, and then maybe if you guys want to see it, I can take a deeper dive on some of the gameplay elements that are being added throughout this year with Black Ops 6 in a future video, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Hit that like button if you want to see more Black Ops 6 content, but let's get in with the big thing, the thing that you're probably wondering about: early access, launch details, everything along those lines. So first of all, if you're on Battle.net, you can actually already preload Black Ops 6. It doesn't appear to be the entirety of the game. Some people's was about 50 gigs, some people was about 80 gigs, but as a whole, you can download at least part of Black Ops 6 already on Battle.net. Steam, I don't think has come out yet, and I believe the consoles, at least PlayStation, is coming out for pre-download around October 20th, so in about 5 days. Speaking of launch on PC launches across the same time around the world. So on Battle.net and on Steam, it is going to launch at midnight on the 25th. So first thing during the day on the 25th at Eastern Standard Time. So in other words, New York time. Now this adjusted, you can see if you're in Los Angeles, this is going to be at about 9 p.m. on October 24th. Whereas if you're in Sydney, Australia, it's going to be much later on October the 25th. That is on PC and PC alone. PC is actually going to be the last possible time that you can play around the world for most people, which is really weird, but let me explain exactly what I mean. So this is where early access actually comes in. So the earliest that you can actually get your hands on the game is 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the 24th. And you may be wondering how, and that is only if you are in New Zealand. Now this will only work on the Microsoft Store, on Xbox, and on PlayStation. And again, you would have to be in New Zealand. So I want to be very clear here. I am not giving any advice because I believe this can get you banned, but I do want to announce that I am taking a trip to New Zealand on the 24th. My entire setup is coming with me, and we will be playing the game, having videos come out starting at around 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 24th. Also, at around 9 a.m. on the 24th, I am going to be streaming the entirety of the campaign on both my main channel here and on my Twitch, so be sure to follow all the social channels, and as things go live, I will tweet them out, things like that. So you just want to stay informed. Now, if you're wondering how this works, it is different whether you are on Xbox or PlayStation. I'm not going to give any advice here because I don't want anyone to get banned, but essentially, if you're on PlayStation, I believe you actually have to have a New Zealand PlayStation account and buy the game in New Zealand, whereas I believe on Xbox, you just have to say you're in New Zealand. But, or if you want to do it the proper way, be like me and take a trip to New Zealand. Now, the other thing that we got today is the PC launch trailer. Now, there isn't anything too crazy throughout this channel. It's essentially to announce that 4K graphics and ultra-wide support. It supports AMD FSR 3.1 at launch, and there are 500 customization options for graphics and things like that on PC. It's essentially a PC launch trailer. However, there is a couple things in this trailer that we have yet to see, and I wanted to point some of those out, and some of them are actually pretty big surprises. Now, first things first, we appear to have a grappling hook. Now, this appears to be on that kind of mind-bending mission that we take somewhere in Avalon, so I don't know if the grappling hook will be in the entirety of the game, but this means one thing. They have built the code for a grappling hook into Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which means there is potential for the grappling hook to come to multiplayer, to come to Warzone, which is really big news for the game as a whole. That could change a lot of things, speed up gameplay, and I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe the last time we saw this was in Cold War. It was more predominant in Call of Duty Black Ops 4, but we did see it in Cold War, especially in zombies and those big map modes. Now, there's a couple of other little surprises throughout this trailer, but as a whole, it is mostly gameplay that we have seen before. If you want me to go in a video in like a little bit more depth as to what this gameplay changes are and things like that, hit that like button and I can do a much more in-depth video, but just hitting that like button will show me that you actually want to see that video. Now, one other thing you may have noticed in the trailer is this. This is a terminal. Now, To be quite honest, I don't know who that character is. I don't know if it's Daniel Livingstone. I don't know if it's Adler. I don't know who that is, but I tried to like decode some of this and I have no idea. But what this is telling me is that just like we had in Black Ops 1 and just like we had in Black Ops Cold War, there was a terminal hidden, and I'm guessing this is going to be on the safe house in Black Ops 6. But through these terminals, you could always find more information, Easter eggs, and sometimes even things like Dead Ops Arcade, which, as of right now, has not been announced for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Now, the one other thing that we got yesterday is this blog post here about audio innovations. Now, as far as the audio innovations that we see in here, it changes a couple of different things. In this first video, this is about spatial reverb. So this you'll notice mostly on like voice lines and things like that. So you'll hear there when he says destination marked, we are out in the open and there really isn't any echo. Now, the next time we hear him say this,
head for my waypoint.
You'll be able to hear this a lot better if you have headphones on, by the way, which I will turn up a little bit. You can hear it that it echoes off the right side because there's a wall there and kind of goes out into the distance on the left side. As we move down into the hallway here, you will hear it kind of echo off of both walls. Now, honestly, for voice lines, I don't think this is a huge deal, but it does add a certain sense of immersion. A good example of this is when he goes inside and there's carpet on the ground, the footsteps sound different, but also the voice echo sounds different as well. The other area that we see this is in regards to footsteps. So I'm going to let this one play, and then I have some things to say about it. So just listen to what we hear here. First of all, footsteps do be pretty loud in this, but they did say that they boosted the volume of them so you could more easily hear the direction of the footsteps. Basically, this update to the audio with the way that spatial reverb is should allow us to hear better where footsteps are coming from, whether they be above you, below you, or wherever. They kind of give us a diagram of how this is happening. So things that block footstep audio, for example, might be even more powerful in this game than we have ever heard before. Also, this is going to apply to Warzone during Season 1, but at the launch of Black Ops 6. They also announced that the physics, this is the acoustics that we were talking about before. These are the videos here that kind of show how it bounces off of walls and how based off of how the room is kind of designed, it is going to sound different in game. But the other thing is the live mixing. So they prioritized audio in a different way. So for example, enemy footsteps are prioritized higher than friendly footsteps. So in other words, enemy footsteps should always be louder than friendly footsteps, which is a good thing, but I think this might be driven by AI. So there might be some bugs with it when it comes out at first, but it should be better overall. They also announced this head-related transfer function. I do not understand how this works, but it should make the game sound better. And there's also accessibility options as well, like asymmetrical hearing compensation. I do not fully understand what this is. I'm gonna have to try that out to understand what it is, but you can also turn off certain frequencies. So if you have tinnitus, this will actually really help out with that. So that's basically it in regards to the audio. The one other thing that we did get is the minimum and recommended PC specs. Those came out today as well. I'll just put them up on screen here. There's no need for me to read through all of them. I think you guys can pause it and read it if you need to know if your computer's going to work. The one that I found a little bit odd is the fact that you need an SSD. It says that that is a minimum requirement, which I don't believe has been a requirement for Call of Duty before, but I could be wrong on that as well. But yeah, that summarizes everything that we saw within the PC launch trailer. Within the launch details, the one thing that I will say is at the very latest, the date that you're going to want to look for that preloading is on the 21st. It is live everywhere at that point at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then after that, based off of your region, whether you're playing on PC or PlayStation or Xbox, if you're on PlayStation or Xbox, you can play a little bit earlier depending on your region. Otherwise, on PC, it's that global launch time at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the 24th or at midnight Eastern Standard Time. That's everything that we know as of now, and if we get more information, more and more videos will come out on the channel. So be sure to subscribe, turn notifications on. I try to keep you guys up to date on everything new as it happens. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making